we go. Welcome, everyone. This is the Meet the Champions event, the first of these in the series for our Prepare for VC Startup Oasis. And if you're not familiar with Prepare for VC, we really, our goal as a Startup Oasis is to bring all the best resources and opportunities for startups across early stage technology companies in the right place at the right time to meet the right people and learn from. So that includes a variety of, this is our platform here. It includes a variety of events like the one we're on today. Other posting, questions you can ask the community. It includes basically, other webinar style events. Like we had one yesterday on how to build an MVP without a technical co-founder, and the new additions. So we have our flagship program, which is our 16-week accelerator program. We work with a cohort of startups at a time, and the two new sections here that we're really excited to showcase and promote today are what we call our portals. So we have one portal here that's called Your Wellness, presented by Prepare for VC, and a second one that's coming soon called the Skills and Tools portal, presented by Prepare for VC. And what that looks like, to showcase the wellness portal to start, is we've curated amazing experts in both of these sections that specifically work with entrepreneurs and really focus on how you can manage everything as a startup and take care of yourself while you take care of your company. And on the Skills and Tools portal, it's how you can learn about each of the categories. You don't have to be, the idea there is you don't have to be an expert in every single category, but you can learn enough that you're able to talk with any of the experts and providers to be able to get the resources you need to grow and scale your business. So each of these portals, as you come in, it has its own feed here where you can, anybody can post, they can share videos, content, and chat with all the other members that have joined into this portal. And they can go into, in this section, they're called wellness areas, and our other portal is called focus areas. And basically you just click on, you click here to get started. You can take a quick read through what you're looking to get from, or what we're hoping you achieve out of each of these portals. And when you get started, you just click next here, or you can go to a particular category that's up and really learn from. We start each of these sections by learning a little bit about each of the experts and what they bring to the table, what they're hoping to have you learn throughout their section. And for the most part, they all start off with similar style introductions. You get to learn a little bit more about that expert, watch a few-minute video here, and dive into some of the content. So, most of these sections are pretty much, they're all designed for more of an on-demand style where you get to learn from the experts directly in a format where you can say, these are some curated topics they've chosen to focus on. They might have 3 to 10-minute video segments mixed in with some written content or links to articles and other recommendations here, and really giving you an overview where anytime you have a question or you want to contact them to learn more about the other programs and services they offer, you can click on their page, send them a message, or click any of the other click on anything else in their space where you can sign up for a session to learn more. And the idea here is we have both of this wellness area right now, and just go quickly to the skills and tools section. So again, the first one was live. This one will be coming soon as well as we finish up developing a few of sections here, but it'll be everything from critical thinking, establishing a personal brand, IP, is creating a clearer future projection from Quick Look, and really getting all the content in one place where you can learn from the experts and know who you want to reach out to every time. Anytime you have something you're looking to learn from all these portal champions. And yeah, I'll just take a pause there. There we go. And yeah, so, the reason, and we're really excited about everybody we brought on board. Everybody we brought on board into this program. We took a lot of time to figure out who the right people are to bring in, who have, who we want showcased as experts and champions in our community space. And these people are each running a category of their own where they can add their own content, add their own flavor, and really, go from the entrepreneur's perspective on what they wish they had as a startup founder when they were going through this process. And this is a space for all the entrepreneurs in our community to come in and learn from everyone we brought in here. So yeah, really excited to have all of you on today, have everybody that's listening. We're going to do a few more of these showcase events as well, but the goal of the event today is just meet the experts, learn from the people you're going to be learning from, and hear what brought them into the Prepare for VC program, what type of content they've either created or they're going to be creating in our community. And from hearing from them, you're gonna really understand why we've decided they're a great fit as a Prepare for VC champion. So yeah, first I'm going to turn it over to Chris Duby. He's our Chief Strategy Officer at Prepare for VC, and he's also the champion of our performance breathing portal. So yeah, Chris, we'd love to have you kick us off with the intro and sort of, your vision behind the performance breathing portal at Prepare for VC.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Really happy to have a majority of our champions on here today. It's really sort of a unique experience when you get a whole bunch of very talented, very busy people all in the same place at the same time. It's like herding cats that have all these tasks and things to do, and they have to be at a million other places than here today, but they actually decided that it was important enough for everyone to be here today. So first and foremost, thank you for everyone making the time today, and I hope this is an ability for you all to meet each other, but also to share your story and show a little piece maybe of the things that we saw and heard in you that from our perspective make you champions, and how we're really looking forward to having you meet our community. So from the perspective of the portals, I'll talk about that for 10 seconds, and then I'll just talk about the performance breathing aspect. So the Startup Oasis is really starting to grow into this thing that provides limitless value. And from my perspective, that doesn't happen unless you have the right people. And it's not just having the right people; you have to have them at the right place at the right time. So, like, it's 3x harder than if you were to just find the right people. And because of the timing of this, because of the people we have involved, the wellness portal and the skills and tools portal is a way to just exponentially give, proactively give. And it is one of the sum of all the parts of the Oasis in which the entire entrepreneur, the entire visionary, the entire founder, their organization can be cared for in their own time and place. Because as we all know, being small business owners and being entrepreneurs, it's really hard. And sometimes you don't always have the time to go take a meditation class, or talk to a professional, or hear their advice on, nutrition, because you have 8 meetings that day, and what am I supposed to eat other than, I don't know, donuts and coffee in order to get through. So the whole thinking behind it is we went out and scoured the planet finding these people for the community. And it's humbling with the amount of knowledge that we have on this call, but also what's going to be coming in the portals. So with that being said, the first, in order to get something like this to happen, you sort of have to build out a little bit of what could be a framework. And so that's what I use performance breathing for. So I'm a former professional athlete, and have seen many, many times over and over again how just a simple tool like your breath can literally make or break how you perform, how you execute. And so after not only practicing and learning different breathing techniques through athletics, when I lived in Southern California for 2.5, 3 years, that's when I really started to learn what breath really was all about, and the ways in which that it can literally change your brain body state. If you want to be focused and you're having a hard time that day because it's like crazy town up there because of everything else that happened that morning, you can breathe in a specific way or through a specific nostril in order to sort of like calm that buzz to a dull hum, to something that just sort of goes away and you can get in your place. And so for performance breathing for me is literally the most simplistic tool that you already have total use of and expertise in using. It's just learning where to apply it in the right places at the right time to get the outcomes that you want to achieve in that situation. Situational strategy, when I was an executive performance coach, was extremely important. You can go into a situation, be totally unprepared, and think you have it, and then next thing you know, things are sideways and burning. And so this is a very simple tool to get you prepared, give you an approach, get your mind in the right place, get your body in the right place, and almost instantaneously leave whatever happened before and whatever's going to happen after outside of the space that you're in with just your breath. And that's what I hope you'll get by going through those lessons. It was fun. It was fun building it, and I'd love to hear what some of the other champions, what their mindset was behind, first and foremost, saying yes to this with everything else they have going on, and the experience that they want to give, that they want to portray, that they want people to walk away with, knowing that this is sort of a come and go as you please type thing. I think the power behind that, it can be a double-edged sword, but at the same time, the value that's being shared is unfathomable. So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to say a lot less than I think everyone else should say. So I'm just happy that everyone's here and that this is coming into reality as opposed to just on paper.
Amazing. And you can see why Chris is our performance breathing champion. And yeah, let's go back and forth between both portals here. So yeah, between the wellness and the skills and tools. So yeah, Dan Manning, if you don't mind kicking us off on what got you excited about the creative thinking portal, and share a little bit about your background leading into becoming one of our portal champions.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here, and thanks to you, Jason, as well as Chris and Steve, for the work that you've done to continue to put this together and bring great folks together to help other great folks do great things. And that's really what fuels me. I love helping people create impact. I love working with people who have an idea, or maybe the beginning of an idea, and helping them turn that idea into something that really benefits other people, benefits themselves, and helps them to fulfill their dreams. For myself, I spent a career in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force for 25 years. The first half of that time as a fighter pilot flying to A-10. And the second half of that time, I was a military diplomat. Did a lot of work with the Russians, lived in Central Asia. and helped lead the air war against ISIS over Iraq and Syria. And what I found through my time in the military was that over and over, I was asked to solve problems that our typical solutions just didn't work for. Like typically in the Department of Defense, we like to solve problems with brute force or by spending lots of money. But the things that I was working on, things like fighting the ISIS small drone problem or deterring the Russians in the Baltics or working with the Russians over Syria, it didn't matter how much power we had, and it didn't matter how much money we had. We had to resort to other tools. Those other tools were thinking better. We had to figure out how to create teams that could collaborate to come up with ideas, good ideas, that you could apply to really tough problems to generate impact. So as I was leaving my time in the Air Force, I took a look at what I had been doing to lead teams to do that sort of work, and then start combining that with the psychology and the neuroscience of how we think and how we collaborate to turn those into very practical tips that people can use to generate their own impact and to solve their own problems. For being an entrepreneur myself, also my wife has a coffee business, and we work together, and we work with lots of entrepreneurs that are here, as well as in my consulting work, people that are all across the world doing some pretty amazing things. What I recognize is that being an entrepreneur really comes down to solving a series of problems. You get a new problem each day. You get, maybe it's a new customer, a new market, something with funding, and you have to find creative ways to solve those problems. And as a new entrepreneur, you don't have a lot of force and you don't have a lot of money. So you've got to find other more creative ways to be able to solve those problems. And this is the perfect place for us to be able to practice that and continue to do that. When I talk to people about solving problems, the first step comes down to making sure that you're solving the right problem. So around that, we talk about critical thinking. The problem with critical thinking is that everybody is the skill that everybody thinks someone else needs more of. Right? It's rare that you find people that say, I'm not a good critical thinker. Most people think they're great critical thinkers. And that's part of the inherent problem, is that our brains are liars. Our brains will lead us down to paths that are the easiest, or the things that look like they're going to be the most approachable, and we lie to ourselves, and it's really, really difficult for us to be able to look into ourselves and to overcome those lies. The way we do it is by collaborating with other people. When we work with other people in a psychologically safe, trusting environment, now we're able to, I can show up with my cognitive biases and the illusions that I bring. Declan can show up with his, and Chris shows up with his, and Yvette shows up with hers, and we're able to offset those. And as we offset those, we get closer and closer to the knowledge we actually need to be able to solve the real problem, the problem that we have, not the problem that we imagine that we have, or the problem that we would rather solve. And now once we have that problem, we leverage that same trust to come up with lots of ideas, lots of possible ways to solve it. I do this exercise in my live workshops where I ask people to give me uses for this object. This is a brick. And I've done this with hundreds of audiences and thousands of people. And it happens the same way every time. I ask people, what are some uses for this object? And people say, well, I can build something with it. Yeah, no kidding, you can build something. That's what it's for, right? We made bricks to build things. And then somebody will say, well, I can pave a road with it. I talk to military audiences, and they will right away start using it as a weapon. You can break a window with it. You can stop a vehicle from rolling away with it. But then I ask them, what are some creative uses for a brick? And now they stop and they change the way that they start answering that question. And now, because they've been given the opportunity to be creative, and I've generated the space that allows them to be creative, now you start coming up with other answers, things that they have not seen or heard, but things that are possibilities. And that's really the heart of creativity, getting beyond the things that we know to the things that are possible. So if I were giving you 2 tips this morning, because I always like to make the work that I do instantly applicable, stuff that you can take away the moment that I stop talking, and you can put it to use for yourself. I would give you 2 tips. They're both simple, and one of them is easy. The easy one is, if you want more creativity out of your team, just ask for it. When you ask people to be creative, they reward you with creativity. There are studies at Yale that show that this works. When you ask people to write a more creative essay, they write a more creative essay. So give them the opportunity by asking for creativity. That's the one that is simple and easy. The other one that is simple but not easy is the way that you create this environment is by leading with trust. And the way that you lead with trust is by leading with vulnerability, by making the choice to open yourself, to be authentic, to share things about you that you might think is probably best to keep to yourself. But when you lead with vulnerability, when you treat people as if they are trustworthy, you get rewarded with their trust. And that's the key to making a good creative thinking team, a good critical thinking team, and a team that can collaborate to make impact. So I'm really proud to be a part of this group, and I look forward to providing more content like this. I'll also post my my LinkedIn in the chat. I'd love to connect with everybody here and continue the discussion. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about creative uses for bricks all day now. And yeah, always great to have you. Great to learn from you. And yeah, as you can see, that's why we have Dan as one of our champions. Yeah, excited to have up next. Actually, one of my fellow startup grind directors, and he's also the head of our nutrition portal here, Dec McLaughlin. Excited to have you come up and share a little bit about your background, what got you excited to become a portal champion.
Of course, thanks, Jason, and yeah, pleasure to be here. Really honoured to be in a virtual room with so many amazing individuals. Yeah, so like Jason said, I'm Dec, fellow Startup Grind chapter director. So hopefully you can already see my deep interest in the world of startups and helping the community to build better businesses, but also improve themselves personally. So in terms of my background, I have always been really passionate about health and well-being, come from a strong sports background, mainly rugby. I know that's not so big in America, but quite a big UK sports. And alongside that, I've always had a passion for biochemistry and the science of how the human body works. So very kind of quickly, I'm sure you can guess how those two are put together. So about 3.5 years ago, started my own nutrition business, DM Nutrition. And one of the main reasons really for me was giving people the opportunity to make it easy. I think with nutrition, it's very tempting to adopt an all or nothing approach. And a quote that always sticks with me is, people who aim for all or nothing almost always end up with nothing. And I think that's very true, especially for entrepreneurs like ourselves and obviously founders in Prepare for VC. And to add on to my passion for helping people with nutrition, as a founder myself and as an employee actually of a tech startup too, I've really started to appreciate, first of all, the difficulties that come with building a business and keeping yourself healthy, eating well, but also being forced to be creative with my own nutrition plans and approaches and strategies. So yeah, when the opportunity came up for joining the Wellness Portal, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Simply could not miss it. And it's been a real pleasure. So in terms of my lessons, you'll see one of the recurring themes is really keeping it simple and almost adopting quite a strict 80-20 approach, such as 20% of the effort gives you 80% of the result. So really kind of molding it around your business. So yeah, plenty more to come. And like Dan said, obviously be a pleasure to connect with everyone and continue the conversation.
Oh, amazing. And yeah, as you can see in Dec's portal right now, it's like, I mean, I was yeah, really excited, you know, as I went through that it's all about nutrition, but it's taken some of the words and, you know, language you use is the same language we use in the startup space. You're talking about, you know, the KPIs of tracking and yeah, staying up to date with your nutrition, and made it really applicable for all the entrepreneurs in our community. So yeah, great to have you on board, and excited about everything you've built out and are continuing to build with Prepare for VC. And yeah, with that, let's bring up Yvette. Yeah, it's been great to work with you in Quick Look on some of our accelerator initiatives, and excited to have you on board as a champion for our skills and tools portal. Love to have you give an intro here and tell us what got you excited to be a champion on the modeling section.
Great, thanks, Jason. So my name's Yvette Lim, and I'm the founder and CEO of Quick Look, which is an advisory company which helps early stage entrepreneurs and potential investors understand their cash flows and risks that are associated with new business ideas. Prior to this, I had a 20-year international career with the Shell Group of companies, so very much, oil and gas, where I evaluated complex multi-million-dollar deals and decisions as a lead regional economist. So what gets me excited about Prepare for VC and the skills portal is that I believe that knowledge is empowerment, and with the well-known statistic of 90% startup failure, I passionately believe that once risks are identified and understood, they can be managed and mitigated, thus leading to a higher chance of success. So this led me to leverage my corporate valuation background to develop some simple yet powerful tools to help entrepreneurs develop a sustainable growth strategy, make informed decisions based on cash flow impact, and also have a credible basis for engaging with investors. So I love working with a diverse ecosystem of innovative and energetic founders, and I'm really excited to be collaborating with the very warm and supportive Prepare for VC team and yourselves as a community to help entrepreneurs turn their passion into reality. In terms of the skills and tools portal, what I'm looking to do is to help members with practical tips on how to shape their cash flow hockey stick, as well as develop credible growth strategies. So really looking to empower them to answer key investor questions, ranging from what is your cost of customer acquisition to what is your projected return on investment. So I think that's it in a nutshell for me, and I'm really excited to hear from the rest of the experts and to get to know you all better in the future.
Amazing. Yeah. No, you can see why Yvette's one of our champions here as well, and really excited about everything you've put together and are putting together in our space. And yeah, excited to bring up our next to have David Newkirk from our meditation section go next, and looking forward to hearing what got you excited about becoming one of our champions.
Great, thank you, Jason. Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to meet everyone on such a beautiful morning. My name is David Newkirk, and I have a background primarily in financial services for 35 years. I've held every executive position that you can think of in an organization, which is interesting from the perspective that it actually gives you perspective on all the different ways people think differently when they have a different position, like a COO. Their values, their view, their perspective is different than a CAO, than a CMO, than a CIO, than a CEO. And so they may be looking at things for the common good of going in the same direction, but they all have different measurements. They all have different beliefs and values to the job they specifically have to own and execute. How that all comes together is a very complicated dynamic, but when it's mastered, it's rewarding. And so I've always been very intrigued and passionate about behavior. Behavior drives relationships, and relationships drive success in any business. It's hard to do it completely alone. And so that unlocked a lot of passion, where I eventually migrated from launching many businesses, launching 2 of my own businesses, one of which I still have, which is called Ethos Consulting. And I've had that for several years. But I also have been an investor in, and I continue to be an investor in 2 AI tech startups as a private equity investor. And I also had to seek private equity for a trust company I launched years ago in New Hampshire. So it unlocked a lot of passion in me for the entrepreneur versus traditional corporate life. And I realized that the entrepreneur is really the individual that tries to fulfill a feeling of self-expression of themselves through their vision of what they're trying to achieve as an entrepreneur. It is the most personal way to work in a professional life, where you're connecting personal aspirations, dreams, and the way that you think to what you're trying to do in a professional life. And so for me, the reason why I joined this community is I agree 100% with living life only once. Live it by bringing together your personal life and all your passions with what you want to do professionally. An entrepreneur is the epitome of that. And so I can connect with that very much so on a deep level. And what better way to be than to try to help everyone in a community such as this one achieve those types of aspirations for themselves. I also have a second alias. My alias is Light Warrior United. One thing that is very unique about me is I am a very highly intuitive person. And I won't, that's another conversation for another day, but it comes with many different ways of understanding and seeing things beyond what the traditional eye can just see in terms of people. And it allowed me to create a program called Transformation Meditation. And Transformation Meditation is really allowing people to understand that meditation isn't a process, it isn't a structure, it isn't a habit. Meditation is all about the individual. Every individual is different. We're organically different. Our belief systems are unique. Our experiences are unique. Our subconscious things that bother us or that trigger us in good ways is unique to us. And so the ability to actually help people understand themselves better through meditation, which allows them to amplify all of the positive things that allow them to move themselves and their business and their aspirations, their vision for entrepreneurship forward, is a tremendously beneficial way to help someone grow, because it allows them to recognize, and I use the expression of a prism. So let's say there's a topic, and it could be any topic that comes to mind. Let's say the topic is VC investing, seeking funding. We may have a particular perspective, opinion, or point of view on how to go do that. But what if there are 20 perspectives on how to go about that? How do you unlock in someone's mind the ability to see things 19 other ways, and then through freedom of choice, choose the best way that best aligns to them on how to go ahead and pursue that? So they get knowledge from a wonderful community and from all of you. They get perspective, but how much of it is reflecting them? Is it reflecting them, or are they disassociated but doing what they think they're supposed to do and follow something that they're not necessarily bringing into themselves? If we know entrepreneurship is a full expression of themselves, I'd like to be able to help them bring that through as they can expand their perspective and allow them to see things that you're all sharing, so that they're not just focused on an intellectual aspect, but they're focused on what resonates with them, what hits them in their core and their internal belief system. And when they take in what you delivered to them, they can go further with it. It can be deeper and more meaningful. It can unlock more passion in them. It can unlock more skills in terms of relationship building or patience, or most importantly, and I'll just end with this, the one thing I like to, as an example, have people focus on is people will talk about, well, these are the triggers that make me upset today. These are the triggers that pull me out of work or pull me from being in a good mood. I say, instead of focusing on triggers that work that way, what are your positivity triggers? What do you need to have happen in a given day that creates positivity for you? And how do you create and allow those triggers to be present, so you're actually manifesting and creating triggers that create the things that you want in positivity, not the things that you're worried about detracting you? And so it's a rewiring of the brain. Meditation is designed to bring people in to 10, 15, 20 minutes of calming them down from an emotional and physical standpoint, and creating space to give them the opportunity to change their focus in a positive and constructive way from maybe feeling overwhelmed or worrying about the workload that they have that never seems to go away. I know it was a lot, but I'm so happy to be here. This community is great. I love all the people that I continue to meet. I'm just overwhelmed by so much that everyone brings to the table. I just want to listen to everybody all day. Thank you, Jason.
No, that was great. And yeah, as you can see, that's why we developed our wellness portal as like champions that are coming from the entrepreneurship side, the perspective, and having we're building this as a place for all the startups we work with to have champions that really understand what they're going through, and you just showcased it there. So great to have you on board, and excited to introduce the last champion of the day. We have a few others that we'll bring on to our next showcase event like this as well. But yeah, Mark, it's great to have you on board. We hosted Mark for a webinar a few weeks back on getting more comfortable with sales, and then agreed on both sides. It would be great to have him come on board as a skills champion and develop a section of his own here in this community as well. So yeah, Mark, would love to have you give an intro and tell us what it's all about.
Sure. Absolutely great to be here. And I can say just what Chris was talking about. If you watch the Red Sox or any of the baseball, if you watch the pitchers and the hitters, because the cameras kind of zoom in and watch how they relax themselves with some breathing, it's almost every time amazing. So after 37 some odd years as a salesperson, as a coach, mentor, sales manager, I realized that I had the great fortune of having some amazing mentors and coaches along the way, and decided it was time for me to try to give back. So I've been focused on working with CEOs, founders, leaders of startups, many of which I've found that do not come from a selling background, engineers, operations, marketing backgrounds, and so on, and either need to or want to become more comfortable with selling. So what I try to do is help them realize that they're probably closer to being comfortable than they're maybe allowing themselves or giving themselves credit for. So what I'll be sharing through the portal is just brief posts, might have some videos and so on, to keep it short, very sort of digestible, one piece at a time, as you kind of go through different aspects of the selling process. And certainly welcome anyone contacting me with questions, concerns about whether some part of the selling process or a deal that they're pursuing, and how to sort of navigate that sometimes what can seem a complex opportunity.
Amazing. And yeah, a topic that's really needed. So great to have you on board, and excited about everything you're building out here. Yeah, I'll turn it over to Chris for a couple other highlights, and yeah, it was great to have everybody present here. Really excited. I know as an entrepreneur, I'd be super excited to jump into all the areas and all the topics you guys have built out.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone that's here today, for, again, sharing a bit about yourself, and showing a little bit about, what we saw from the beginning and what we know all of you to be, which are truly our champions, and the ability to lead and proactively give the volumes and volumes of knowledge that you've amassed over your careers, and actively build into your lives. I think it's truly important for it to always come from the source, and all of you represent that. So truly grateful for that. There are 3 champions that were not allowed. They were allowed, but they were not able to meet with us here today because, as we said, everyone here has probably more than one thing that they could be doing right now, and some of them could not get away from those prior obligations. So I want to highlight Julia, who is from Germany. Julia Kounlavong. She's our yoga champion. She has over 700 hours in certified guidance and facilitation of yoga, and I think 3 or 4 different practice styles. Knows a lot. And when I say a lot, it's a capital ALOT. But not only that, is just a warm and fantastic human being. And I think that's the most important thing, and something that I hope anyone watching this was able to see today, that the people behind this process and behind these initiatives are just fantastic people, because it always makes it easier to learn and more engaging if you feel like you would be friends or want to work with the people that you're learning from. And that was, part of the difficulty, but also the magic, I think, of what is happening here. So Julia will definitely be in introduction style meeting similar to this as these initiatives grow. One other individual, Gil Pearlberg, who is our IP strategy and management expert, is from Israel. And Gil is someone that the Prepare for VC team has worked with pretty extensively. He was here in the United States a couple weeks ago. We were actually able to meet with him, and he's been part of our accelerator program. We've done webinars with him. Again, the recurring theme of just great person and super knowledgeable. Gil has the ability to dispel myths that you think you know about protecting your amazing thing, and give you things that will actually protect it. And it's invaluable, the ability for all of us to have trained ourselves, similar to what Dan was talking about, to think we know what we're talking about, have absolutely no idea. And Gil helps you put in strategies in place that will actually help you get there and do it in a way that is not only efficient, but not breaking the bank. So Gil will definitely have on in a future session, so you can get to know him. Another champion is Tom Dorwart, who is a startup attorney. Tom is based out of the Midwest, but the thing I love about Tom is that super knowledgeable and very humble guy, but seems like he's in a new place on the planet every week. Last week he was in France, and then before that it was, I don't know, Canada, or then he was in California, and I'm like, do you have your own jet, dude? Like, where, what's going on here? I'd like a ride someplace if we could. Very, very ear to the ground on what is going on from a legal perspective, and what you should know as a founder, as a solo entrepreneur, as someone trying to build a team around all the legal landscape, and allows you to come with any questions and concerns and help you feel okay by the time you're done speaking with them. And is actually in Boston. The Prepare for VC team is going to be meeting with Tom tonight, which is the thing that I'll end with today. All the people on this webinar, all of our portal champions, their content is going to be put into the portals, and you go in there once and there could be what's there, and then you go in there again, maybe a couple weeks, couple days, couple months later, and it could be completely different. This is not a static set it forget it thing. This is exactly what it is that they want to make of it, because of the things that they're learning about the community, about you, your team, feedback. This is a living, breathing thing that will continue to evolve and allow for exponential growth. And because of that, our team, the Prepare for VC team, would love to meet with all of you personally. I know Yvette is in Singapore. I have friends in Singapore, so who knows? It could possibly happen if she and her team come to the United States. By all means, Dec is in the UK. Dan, I think you're in Alabama. Mark, you're in Mass, I think, correct? Yeah. And David is
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Same time zone.
Yeah. David, I think, is in Maine. So some further than others, but at the same time, never too far away for us at some point to make this all come together. But I think the experience of what you're putting together is going to be amazing because people are going to feel like they worked with you and know you, and make it that much easier for you to really guide and teach and lead them to a better place. We're trying to build a holistic experience with an H and with a WH, and I think we have the right people to do that. So can't say it enough. Thank you for being here and for sharing all the things that you've learned, gone through, and live every day. That is a value that moves beyond this moment into all future moments. So thank you very much. Appreciate everything and all of you.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to try to follow that, so I'm just going to stop the recording here. We're going to share this in the community, and yeah, I'll keep it open, like, after we stop this, if anybody, wants to stick on the last 10 minutes or so and just chat and connect with each other. But yeah, really appreciate everybody joining us, sharing, and I'm super excited about everybody we brought on board as a Prepare for VC champion. And I hope everybody watching this is as well.